Boom, and we're live.
Hello, everybody.
It's forever now.
It's forever.
You're on the stand.
All right.
Hi. How are you?
What are we doing? I'm good. How are you guys?
All right. So, Quick and Loud and Live Sports Podcast. We're here with the one and only Aaron Hoff. A lot of people in the community know him very well. Everyone loves him very much. Very kind heart.
So sweet.
Then, of course, we're here with Chief Keef, myself, Matt Fraser. But
I've lost my real name. It's gone.
Chief Keef.
Because of
I
the
like it
butter
better.
resource.
yeah.
How are you, buddy? Thanks for being here.
Good. All the way from Hawaii.
Well, you were just skiing, though. Let's be honest. I mean, you were up to your waist in powder about a day ago, right?
In the powder. It was awesome. Good couple days, and then cut my trip short to come and hang out with you guys.
Go from the powder to the nice sunny beach.
Yeah,
not a bad
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? It is cold.
Yeah.
So we're here. What day is it? Saturday? Saturday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon, Miami.
Wadapalooza. You've been a big part of this event.
Yeah, I think I've been coming here for every one. I've been here.
That's right.
Oh, damn.
I actually been here for every event. Somehow,
I'm just a rookie. This is only my second time here.
Somehow I did get roped in to come down here.
You were, obviously, had a great relationship with the Progenics crowd. They were a big part of the event way back.
Yeah.
So I think this is where I first met you, as a matter of
we
fact.
met down here the first time years ago.
Screwing off in a tent over there, not doing anything.
Eating food.
So
just wandering around.
We've known, I met Aaron here, and for a lot of you who don't know Aaron, I think you're well aware of what Aaron does, but you don't know that Aaron does it, which is, we've participated in, and a lot of the community has every year. And it's September, right?
September 19th this year.
Yep.
Always.
The ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run, which is for the kids.
Yep. It's an event that we raise money to be able to provide free CrossFit, or basically just a free atmosphere for kids to hang out in and keep them away from.
Well, a free clean atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's so understated, by the way. Because I want to dig. Matt wants to dig on that because I think it's so near and dear to our heart for so many reasons. But we've gotten the chance to be there and see how special it is what you do, which keeps us coming back.
Yeah, I think one thing to point out is that I knew about the Hawaiian Trail Run for years before I ever knew that
the cause
for it. It's your foundation, and it's the main fundraiser, and it kind of took off. I'd say probably because some of the sponsors that were involved wanted to support it, so their athletes came.
Yeah.
And then they promote it, and it's such a fun experience.
Yeah.
That it's just gone like wildfire. I remember, so I did it last year.
The year before that. Yeah. The worst year possible.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Just seeing the start line. Well, no, it's wild seeing the finish line. Everyone's everyone's just mud head to toe, and then just water trucks come in, open up the back floodgate. Everyone's scrubbing off,
hose you down.
It's the ultimate CrossFit vacation.
Yeah, it's cool. It's right after the game, so it makes it perfect for the
very casual.
Everybody.
Isn't it the ultimate Hawaiian experience? Would you say that?
In the mountains, it definitely is. It's over there. It's all in private land. The Knutson Trust, they own it, and it's just a big family that usually nobody has access to this land, but they've known all the help that I've done in the community over the years, so they open up the land for us. So it's a once a year opportunity for people to actually come and experience this property, which is it's insane. It's mountain ranges and it's for real.
I mean, if anyone follows you on social media, Uncle Hoffy.
Yeah.
Following you on social media is just so entertaining because 9 times out of 10 you're just in the middle of the jungle in a huge excavator, just just clearing paths for the next year's trail run. It's a whole year process.
Creating hell is a process, a fun hell. But
his social media is excavators and squirrel, pigeon. I call it squirrel.
But it's wild because. From an outsider looking at you would just assume it's the same trail every year.
Yeah, it's a new trail every year.
New trail, and there's a 5K and a 10K option.
10K-ish, yeah.
But it's I remember so I've done it once, and it was mind-blowing. If you actually stopped and looked of oh my God, we are in the middle of a jungle.
Yeah, you're in the middle of the...
And then I remember being on top of the mountain, and I'm not racing. I'm there for fun. So I'm enjoying the views. I'm at the top of the mountain, and it's like
beautiful. It's the
like
whole
Jurassic Park.
But
then I remember there was a pallet and a huge cargo net and a bunch of waters. And I was like, why is there this cargo net? And it's like, well, you can't get water up here. So
the helicopters come drop it in.
That's how out in the middle of nowhere you are. Of like helicopters are bringing in pallets of water for the people running by.
Yeah, we were lucky we never had to use the helicopter to pull anybody out yet. So, but we just pull the water in and out.
How did it? We've got. I feel like it's a little like this, right? Like you get to see it. I didn't see it in its original form, 150 people, but you like, how did that all get started? I know some of your history.
I was having dinner with Greg Glassman one night, and I just told him I was basically like, dude, I need to find a way to raise money for these kids. And he was just basically, and I said, I was thinking about doing a run, but I don't know. And he just basically said, just don't be a bleeping. And I was like, oh, okay, that's it? That's how you do it? And then he was like, yeah, I'll support you. Let's do this. And then it just started from there. And then pretty much the first run was the worst. Like it was, if I kind of explained it shortly, we had this beautiful trail that was all set. And then the day before, 3 days before the run, these guys came through and these tree farmers cleared all the trees out, and it was like a bomb went off in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, so how is this? How am I going to do this? So I was walking through this torn apart forest, putting ribbons, and the day of the race, it was just like, okay, go.
Is that the one that was supposed to be a 5K, but it was actually a 10K?
It was like, and it was the hottest day of the year. It was like ever in Kuaui. There was no clouds.
Of course, that's how it worked.
And then by the time the end of the run, we were running out of water. I didn't have enough water. And the guys, we have a sandbag at the end of the race, and the person who came in first wasn't listening, so they took the sandbags all the way around, and everybody was done. I told them, go to the top of the hill, come back, and then they just ran all the way around. So I was like, oh crap, I guess that's the new route. But it worked out, and it was like guys were laying out by the ambulance, but then it was beautiful.
But then, like, you took notes. What worked? What didn't work?
Yeah,
did it again the next year.
And now we're like full steam ahead, man. It's like
how many people showed up for it last year?
Last year we had close to 1,300 people.
Damn.
I don't know. Like, tell people the island's small.
Yeah, the island's small, and it's I don't know what the population is, but it's small. Everybody knows everybody.
It's like 10,000, right? Like,
it's probably like 50,000 or something like that. But everybody knows everybody there, and it's that's what makes it special. You come there and you feel like family, and everybody remembers you. And even if you visit, especially like our environment is like, it's a bridge into the local community, which is a lot of people come and visit, but they never really get to experience, because there's like just a barrier. So we eliminate that, and everybody gets to experience the local culture, truly experience it.
I hope that anybody listening that online or here now gets to, you should book a flight and go to that. And get to experience it. It is one of the most, first of all, the piece of earth is
beautiful.
I don't know a better looking place, but just I look forward to that every year. I went back this year, and I had another amazing time, even though you pounded the crap out of me with that run.
Yeah, I know. Like when we went, it's every person that comes in for it stays at the same resort. Yeah, and no one comes in for the run and then leaves. Like, everyone makes a week vacation out of it. And I remember like sitting around the pool, and I was like, man, this is like the CrossFit Games. Like, every athlete's here.
They're all there.
All sponsors, family, everyone comes in. But then what was coolest was, like, we all went to your house for a barbecue a couple days later. Yeah. It's stone throw from the hotel. Yeah. But like right on the ocean. And it was like rad. That was the real food. The simple but amazing. Yeah.
That's just family. That's how we grew up, and that's the biggest part of the whole event is letting people experience that. Just connecting with people on a real level, and actually just being like, all the politics aside, whatever. You just come here, flying over the island. When you're flying over there, leave your baggage at home and come over and just enjoy each other.
Yeah. There's a 50% chance you're going to get in some shit with you that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's going to be. You'll remember it definitely.
I think we need to preface this. Like when I went into it, I was like 5K, 10K.
Yeah,
cool. And like 5K, like I'm in my off season, maybe make it 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
10. I think we did the 10K. So I was like, all right, we'll keep it under an hour. And then it was like 2. I was 2 hours in.
Yeah.
And then I asked someone else, like, my stomach's now rumbling. I'm like starving. I'm like, yo, how much longer? Like, the finish line has to be right here.
So good.
And they're like, oh, you got about an hour left. I was like,
oh,
are you?
And that was like the rainiest day.
Ever. That was an interesting, perfect storm.
Perfect. Sure. I mean, I was worried. I was praying hard that people would get everybody out of this mountain.
I got to do it in not the rain, so it's not as bad.
Yeah.
But I'm talking in general here. We're not talking about the run. Like, I ended up in a cart with you. Like, you tried to kill me.
Yeah, that happened.
You two were jumping off cliffs.
I haven't lost anybody yet, so we're good.
I told Hoff, I was like, man, I love cliff jumping. Like that was like our activity during the summer through high school. And then he was like, oh yeah, I'll take you to a couple cliffs. And then we literally had to we're climbing a rock face going up. And I remember, forget who it was. It was
me, you.
But I think it was Sam Dancer was below us, and someone
kicked the rock.
Like it's lava rock, so it's super
kicked
brittle.
the rock. I think it was me. I kicked the rock off, and it flew down and hit Sam in his head.
We get to the top of the mountain, and Sam's just like bleeding, like gushing down the front of his face, and it's like, as if you weren't intimidating.
And I'm over here. We pull up. I'm like, Matt, here, go jump this cliff right here. And I'm like, I jumped it. I've never jumped this thing. I'm like, dude, I jumped it before, so I don't need to jump it again. And then and they're like, no, you're coming with me. I'm like, no, I'm not. There's nobody who can drive the boat. And then O'Keefe's like, oh, I drive boats all the time. I was like, damn it.
By the way, what's the rating system for climbing? It's like 1 to 14. It was probably like in the 10 or 11
It's probably like an 80-foot cliff.
I remember being halfway up, and like if you fall, it's not grass, it's just lava rock. Like it hurts to walk on, let alone fall 20, 30 feet
so
under.
Nuts. It was.
And I remember thinking like,
it's legit.
Why the fuck am I up here?
That's what I was thinking too.
I'm regretting this. And then you get to the cliff, and I immediately realized, like, in the last 5 years, apparently I've become scared of heights.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can't climb back down.
You can't climb back down.
The only way down is off the cliff. And I was like, all right, just don't cry. Don't cry. Don't let anyone see you cry.
You look good. You look good.
That's why I ran right to the edge. When I got there, I'm like, dude, I have to just jump right away because I'll start.
I would have never made it.
I'll not jump.
Well, we jumped off of shipwrecks this year. I did, which is like seemingly pretty short.
It's probably like 50-something feet.
I went full panic when I got to the edge, and Heber and Marston were there, and they're like, hey, we're videoing this. If you turn around now, it's going to be really embarrassing for you on our vlog. And I was like, okay.
People frown on peer pressure, but it works.
It works.
Let's go. Full bruise on my arm from landing like this.
So fun.
But you can jump off, and because it's tidal, right? Yeah. Like it could be 10 feet lower if you don't jump at the right time. I don't think I jumped at the right time.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And nobody told me about that one, that there was probably like a half a mile swim back in.
Yeah, that's people leave with bruises off of that thing. Mostly girls, because they always land like they're sitting in a chair.
So go to Kuaui. It's a safe place.
It's totally safe.
Tell us about the foundation, Keala.
So the Keala Foundation it's a nonprofit 501c3, and it's we basically raise money all year round to provide free CrossFit. We pick the kids up, we train them, we feed them, and then we take them home. And this is an environment that we create for these kids to have so that they don't get picked off. We have basically it's like an epidemic, a drug problem over there that's just like, it's really bad. And there's really nothing going on in the community that is there to provide for these kids.
It's either you be at home bored or you do drugs for entertainment.
Yeah, and plus you go to the beach and all that. And for us, the threat for us when we're growing up over there, it's not like we're going down a crack alley, and there's all these guys where dealing drugs. It's not that real shady environment, or it's like our family members that are down there smoking weed and just they're smoking meth, they're smoking all the they're doing all the stuff over there, and it's just, so it's not like it's a threat to us. It's our uncles and our aunties.
Yeah.
So then the environments that are down there by the beaches and all, it's just saturated with the drugs right now.
Yeah.
So these kids, no matter what, they get involved in it. They're going to be. It's going to touch their lives.
It's not this like huge barrier of entry. It's right there. Yeah. So if you want to try it,
it's there,
and it's accepted by everyone
and it looks cool. It looks really cool. And for me, growing up, I never had an environment like what we do. So it's I didn't know about it. I just went right into it, and I watched kids over the years just go right into it, and then we have the highest suicide rate over there in Hawaii, in the nation. We're right up there, and it's Kuaui is the worst island out of all the Hawaiian islands, and one of the places that I have a gym, Anahola, is where the highest rate of the suicide is. That's where I put the newest gym, and so now these kids have this environment where we mentor them. We're them from basically middle school all the way through high school. We're carrying these kids through those years, and you can't save them all, but you do give them a good running start. You just show them there's a better way of life. And then you explain, like, these guys are doing drugs. This is what happens. I mean, look, I talk to them about my life. I have all these other guys that got sober that are over there that help explain to these kids so that when they go, they're prepared. They leave with great self-esteem, and they're packed with knowledge about what this stuff will do to your life.
Well, I think a big thing too with that is they have someone, like, for most kids, like, you see an adult or an authority figure, and it's like their life isn't appealing. So it's like, well, why? Like, if you see someone that's sober or clean, the natural image is someone that's like sitting at home, living a boring life. So see guys like me, seeing Uncle Hoffy having a good time,
running hard
without getting into trouble, it makes it appealing.
And then we have like all the athletes coming over. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, but when these guys come over and they visit, they give these kids one of the biggest blessings. And I mean, you guys don't see it. Like, when you guys come over and you leave, the impact that one little visit instills in these kids' lives is like, it's huge. It's like, you can't even describe it.
You got a chance to talk to the kids in the gym. I know that was a fun experience for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Like, sitting down and I think at the time, like, I got linked up with Hoff because, like, through a mutual friend, my friend knew I was sober and, like, that I got sober young. And so he knew, like, the whole basis of your program and all that stuff. So he kind of told me, like, hey, this guy's sober, he's helping kids. Like, I know that was part of your thing. And so I remember we had never even met. And
we just got on a phone call. It was like when I talked to Matt, I was like, I knew him my whole life. I was like, you're just like me, buddy.
It was like, it was Thanksgiving. I'm sitting in Sammy, like, in my in-laws' driveway, and I jumped on a call with this stranger who, it was Chris Henshaw, like, just was like, you need to get involved, like, or you should at least know this guy. First phone call, I think we talked for like an hour and a half about, like, hey, what are you doing? And I know in Vermont, we had, like, I don't know how to describe, like, a sober hangout place. And it was like 6 a.m., doors open, and then it was 1 a.m. they closed because they had a midnight meeting. And it was just like, there was a pool table, foosball table, jukebox, couches, and then it was probably, I don't know, like 8-9 times a day they had meetings. And so it was like, that was quiet time. If you're hanging out there, it's either you just go in, sit in on a meeting, or like you go out, get another energy drink and kind of wander around downtown. But you got to meet other kids your age. And for me, like, when you're 17 years old walking into like an AA meeting, it's like a bunch of 40, 50-year-old dudes, and you're like, well, we're not gonna fucking relate on anything. Like your problems are so unrelatable to mine. I'm not gonna open up. But then with a place like that, it was other kids my age, or at least, within a
that makes a huge difference. That's
but then, so like seeing what you were doing. So the place I went when I was 17, it got shut down. It was something that happened with, like, someone raised a fit over that it was government funded, and it got shut down. And for me, seeing that, I'm like, this is awful, because I know what it did for me and a couple of my buddies. And so when it got taken away, it was like, oh shit, like, well, what's going to happen to the next generation? So when
it was saving too many people's lives, right,
dude? Yeah, it was something.
Dude, it's wild.
Something with the fact that, you know, there's the word God in there, and it's being government funded. Someone threw a fit, and now
it's amazing, like how.
And now it's like a boutique coffee shop, which is like, I'll go in there to get coffee when I'm home, and I'm like, man, like, this place used to be. And
that's why I like my event. I mean, I could get funding from the government, I could do all this, but I just don't, because that would be like putting handcuffs on.
Yeah, then they're going to dictate, tell you how to help these kids. So
and that's why we rely on all the funds that we raise through people just being generous and understanding the environment that what we create, how valuable it is. You know, it's like when you were saying, like, when I got sober on Kuaui, I was 23, and I came out and going to AA meetings. There was all old people, but it was either I hang out with them or all my buddies, and I was just like, it was hard. But now that this environment's here with kids, it's like, well, when I go back to that, when I got sober, I grabbed all these young kids. And they saved my life. I was grabbing kids like 12, 13 years old. I would take them surfing.
Like preface this, grabbing kids like you were going surfing with children.
Yeah, I would take them surfing. I would take these kids. I'm all, bro, you guys are coming with me. So I'd wake up early, we'd dawn patrol, go surfing. I'd take them to all these surf spots and just like these, and because they saved my life. Those kids, and I see them today, and you know, I watch these kids go, and they all got picked off. You know, I watched all of them, and some of them got through. And when I see them, I tell them, dude, you guys saved my life. You know, if I didn't have you guys to run around with and go surfing, and that's part of the biggest reason why I do this, because it's my gift back to the kids for saving my life. You know, I would have not been able to stay sober just hanging out with all these old guys drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes. It was just like not attractive. It was just like, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild going from area to area. So I got sober in Vermont, and I thought that's just the way every AA meeting was run. I thought there was 100 people. I thought everyone was always happy. Like, I saw the environment there, and then I moved to Colorado Springs. And I remember walking into a meeting, and I would leave more depressed than when I showed up.
It's heavy.
I was like, man, this is having the reverse effect. You know, like these guys are like, oh, I've been sober 10 years and like my life is awful. And I'm like, oh man, this isn't the right image to be spreading at all. Like the whole point of getting clean is to make your life better.
Make it fun and exciting. And I mean, it's hard getting sober, but it's like, I mean, you look at the benefits, you know.
Like, I mean, you make it into whatever you want. Like,
you can be. I mean, look at you. I mean, look at me.
I mean, like I look
you.
I look at.
It's great.
I look at the group that I got sober with, and it was basically I was one of the kids. You know, my buddy, he had a little time under his belt, and but like the crew he hung out with, he's one of these guys that just everyone naturally gravitated to. And he was just a fun guy, and he made being sober look cool.
Look cool, that's the key.
And
is that how? Do I make it look cool?
Yeah, you look and make.
I mean, it was just wild though. Like, I know the
O'Keefe didn't jump off the cliff.
Yes.
He should have made you jump off the cliff.
He was steering the boat.
Yeah, he was driving the boat.
Yeah, we call him
cool
Dad.
People
we
jump
call him
off
Dad
the cliff
for a reason.
No.
It is interesting that, you know, and it's funny, when I met him, I got sober at 33, but so I met him soon after, really. I was kind of pretty, like, he's had more time than me, so he's like my mentor on that side of the things. But it helped me a lot.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter how much time you have, like, the
don't be an asshole.
I mean, the crazy thoughts still pop up in your head every once in a while, and it's like I don't go to meetings nearly as often as I should, but
you have a good network of friends.
The people I spend every day with, like O'Keefe, I talk to you all the time. My friends, my whole network of friends back home, they all have years of sobriety. When I'm home, like that's where my home group is. That's where I enjoy going to meetings and stuff. But I mean,
that's how you just stay plugged in. You're plugged in.
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of people I see, they just don't. They lose the people that like that. They just stop hanging around people who are sober.
I mean, it's so easy. Like when I'm talking to him, it's like, all right, man. It sounds like you're building up a resentment. You know, like maybe you should go talk to that person. It's like,
I put him in check.
Well, I don't have a problem with anybody.
Yeah,
I promise.
Yeah, I love everybody.
Oh, no, that was you telling me that I have a resentment. That happens all the fucking time.
Oh man,
it's pretty cool.
What? Tell us. You know, obviously we know the story now with it, but tell us about, you know, what's the, like, honestly, I think more people need to know the life of Hoff. Like
my life.
Yeah, like what?
So like,
I know you work so hard, but like you're big waves. You big wave surf.
I'm not your normal human being. Like I surf big waves. I mean, I just love to push the envelope. If there's something to do, I'm gonna do it like 10 times more hard.
Do you wear a helmet surfing?
No, I don't.
You should.
Yeah.
Dude, you got the photo last year. He's like sends a selfie and his blood dripping down his face, and I'm like, what happened? He said, you know, when the big waves come, they empty out and it's all sand below you.
Yeah.
And I fell.
And I hit my earth with my face.
Put you out of commission.
As you do.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I would just say like my life has been like basically it's been dedicated to like just helping people get sober, because I know a lot of people, like I've watched, they start to get the good life, they get comfortable, they get, you know what I mean, and the life just starts to take off and they forget. You know, I just never forgot what it was like 22 years ago when I had guys looking to kill me, I had cops looking for me, I just never forget that. And then when all those other people actually stepped in and saved my life, you know, I'm indebted to that, you know, because I wouldn't have the life I have today. So basically I'm my happiest when I'm actually giving back and helping people. You know, that's my passion, and it's like, it's great because I have a kid that's living with me now. I took him in about 8 months ago, and like 4 months ago he came out and he was suicidal. This kid was out there, and he came up to me 4 months about, you know, actually the other day he came to me, he's like, hey uncle, I haven't thought about killing myself in like 4 months. And to me that's just like, that's huge, because I understand that.
That's what you're there for.
Yeah, so it's like for me, and there's so many of those moments that I have that's like that's my paycheck right there. Is that right there?
I mean, like I know a saying, like to keep it you need to give it away.
Yeah.
And that's why you take in sponsees and work with new people. So like directly it's for them to make sure that they're good, but indirectly it's the payback to you.
Yeah.
And the lessons learned, so you don't forget, even though you got sober and those terrible things were years ago.
Yeah.
You have those daily reminders of like, oh man, like the problem you're going through.
Yeah.
If I step away from the rooms, they're going to come back to me too, because it's just the way of thinking. It's like,
and
we're all fucked in the head.
The ism in alcoholism is incredibly short memory, so that's why I try to keep it fresh so that I don't forget. You know what I mean? It's
I have the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
It's one of my many flaws.
We talk quite a bit. I feel like you have a homing unit on me. Every time I'm like, I got some heat in my life, your name pops up on my screen, and I'm like, what?
It's just like I type, you okay? It's how, you know, it's like intuition, you know, just check in.
Yeah. So, like, directly more on, like, what you're doing. Like, how many gyms do you have? How many kids come through your doors?
We have 3 gyms. One's in Poipu, one's in Kekaha, and Anahola. And Kekaha and Anahola are basically that's where all the locals have been pushed because of the amount of money that's coming into the island.
Okay, yeah.
And it just creates for families to survive over there, they got to work 3 jobs.
Yeah, I mean, just the cost of living is
the cost of living is super high, and then we also we do about 200 kids a day now.
Damn.
And we're picking them up. We're training them, feeding them, and it's not. I mean, it's all. And our coaches and stuff, they're like, when we drop the kids off, they're still hanging with all these other kids. So it's like it's a 24/7 job for these guys, and it's
And like when you say like you're picking them up, like you're going door to door.
Yeah, we go door to door.
Bring them to the gym.
No barrier to entrance. We find these kids and grab them,
and then you put them through a workout. And then like when you say you feed them, it's not like you're giving them snacks before they go to school.
Dude,
if they're not eating with you, they're going to be hungry for the day.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know Ice Age meals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Nick's
dude,
he's been feeding these kids. The guy sends food. He basically feeds these kids on Kuaui.
Yeah.
He's been doing that for over a year now, which is
what the best part about it is, and we love this because and Matt's like this. I like to operate like this. Nobody knows that about Nick, and he doesn't want anybody to know.
Yeah, dude, he's so humble, and he's helping us. When I get back, we're creating a kitchen out in Keala.
Yeah.
Dude, and all the communities coming together to help build this kitchen, which is unreal because when I first went out to Keala, everybody's like, there's a mean barrier between the local community and people from the mainland. It's just like basically.
Is that where you took me to the old crack house gym?
Yeah, that's a different gym.
But I know
but it's very similar. The same feel where you walk in, you feel like you're gonna get beat up or something.
That easily is the hands down the best CrossFit gym experience of. I will never forget that. He took me. Chris Hinshaw pushed me a little. We were busy with the run and Chris said, "You got to come. I'm running a workout at this really cool gym." And we went to like a local beach spot where surf spot.
It was all church.
And it was like an old rundown building that was then a crack house that he converted into a gym.
Yeah.
It's been since taken away from you, right?
Yeah, then all this good started to happen, and then the Hawaiian homes, they said, "Oh, you guys can't do this over here."
But I mean, we walked in and it was like, but they accepted me because I was with you, but it was like, that was local AF, right? Like that was as local as it gets. One of the guys that worked out with us is like one of the biggest name.
Yeah, Titus Kinimaka.
Oh man, I looked him up. He talk about badass, like
and he's a big wave
surfer
Hawaiian.
ever.
Pure Hawaiian. And there's not very many of those. Yeah.
I mean, this guy's like grinding in there, but a very local experience. And man, they stick together there, huh?
Have you been over by the house now? So we moved it over to his house.
Well, I've seen it on social.
Yeah, so we did a fundraiser, and dude, after they got kicked out, they were working out in the dirt. So I just told them, dude, if you guys let me like come in here, I'm gonna make this place nice. Yeah. And they were like, oh, okay. So I come in there with my excavator, start digging out the front yard, and the wife never knew. She comes out, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm all, I'm the kind.
Uncle Hobby's just there with a 20-ton excavator.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
Oh, is this not okay?
Your Bronson didn't tell you? And then, so now we got that in the nice cement area. We got the roof, and it's not all. I mean, Greg guys bought all the equipment for that place. And
yeah, so I mean that's one thing I want to bring up is so Greg Glassman had a house over there. Like, how'd you get linked up with him?
Well, I met him years ago. Like when I first started, it just happened. Like, well, what happened was Maggie, his wife, came and worked out at our first gym, and I didn't even know, she didn't even say who she was.
Yeah.
I was just like, cool, we're hanging out, working out, and then I seen their baby. I'm like, dude, this baby looks familiar, and she was like, yeah, he's kind of a famous guy in the fitness world. So, oh, cool. And then she said, oh, yeah, it's Greg Glassman's baby. I'm like, who's that? I didn't, I was just fresh on CrossFit. I was just like, and then I figured it out. I was like, oh wow, that's cool. And then we went over and had dinner, and then I met him, and then he came back, and then and it was from then we've just been great friends.
Yeah, and I think that supported me. That's one thing, kind of the same as what Nick does. Like, Greg came in and helped you tremendously because he wanted to help the cause that you were doing. He's not looking for publicity, anything. Like, I'll toot his horn for him because what he did for you guys, like, he saw what you're doing and was just like, I love this, I want to support this, and helped you guys out. And they did
all the Keala, that whole facility. He bought everything out there. I just called him out, hey Greg, I need some equipment. You want to help me with it? So then he just gave the guys his credit card. Yeah. Because he knew already, because they've been spending time with me, and I was explaining to him what the problem is, and there's nothing happening over there. Yeah. And when he just hooked it up, and then
it's just wild to see, because he knows if he's helping you or he's giving you funds or whatever it is, you're not going to use it on yourself.
Yeah, totally.
You're immediately taking it and giving
everything
it to the people that need it.
Yeah, and that's the only way that these things work, there's no strings attached. And then people come in and give. It's just you're giving
to help. How many employees do you guys have now?
I think we got about 15 or so.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I thought it was only like a handful.
Maybe 10 off the top of my head. Yeah. In that area.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty wild story. I remember when I was there, and I'm kind of talking to some of the people, and it's like, oh, like, are you from here? And they're like, no, I'm not from here. Yeah. Like, I came to the run 3 years ago.
Never left.
And then like saw how much help was needed. Yeah. And just called home like, hey, like, send me a bag of clothes. Also, like, I quit my job and I'm staying here to help.
It's pretty. You can relate to that though. Like we felt the same way when we were there. We're like, This could be pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, exactly, right? But, I mean, like, I went home and made it very clear, like, hey, like, when there's anything that I can be of use for, like, you have my number. Yep. Like, call, don't be shy. I want to help where I can.
And we're pretty, like, I mean, it's been like a lot of people respect it because they do know, like, I don't over ask people. I just ask for what we need and so we can get going. You know, you don't need to have this massive bank account to do this much good. It's just as long as you're spending your dollar properly and with good intent, you're going to have the support of everybody because they'll see that you just build a reputation.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is no one wants, like, if your car's broken down on the side of the road and you're waving for help, nobody's going to stop. If you get behind the car and start pushing, then people will stop and help you push.
Yeah.
No one's going to help you if you're not helping yourself.
Yeah.
And so people can see what you're doing with what resources you have, and then it attracts more good people, and they're jumping in. They want to help.
And people want to help
because they see you working your ass off.
And the nice thing is, like people genuinely want to help, but it's hard to get. It's like, especially with a drug epidemic and all this stuff, it's like, where do you even start?
Yeah.
You know, like, I know, and I've also learned as me as one person, like, my life has been everything. I just started helping the next person, and then now my life is here, and it all started from, I can remember it when I was in treatment, is walking over to the guy. The first time I got to start helping people, and I walked over to the worst crackhead in the treatment center, and I just started talking with the guy. You know, and it just and it just felt good. You know, it just felt right, and then it's just been like that way from all the way till here.
Yeah, and I've watched. I remember, you know, getting connected with you through him because, you know, he talked to you. You know, I don't think a lot of people know that about Matt. We can gloat about him a little bit because he does a lot of this stuff, and I'm super proud of it. And he'll, like, slap me around after this for even talking about it. But, like, he's done it. You know, he's donated equipment to local schools in Vermont multiple times. You know, he's always saying yes when it comes to kids. And I remember getting the call from him, and you know, he's talked to you, and he was like, "Listen, we're giving them as much as we possibly can give them," and that's not we, by the way, that's him. So, you know, and he's, you know, sent a lot of clothes and shoes your way for the kids.
It's all that stuff is like, and it's cool seeing Matt, like, he's like really coming out with it right now, you know, and it's like saying, hey, you guys, and
I mean, it was crazy because, like, I thought it was literally just something that no one gave a fuck about.
No, and but it's like he's saving lives.
And then it was, I forget how it came up the first time, but I mean, I think it was a friend that knew it because we were friends, and then so he wanted to bring it up because he was like, dude, he's like, people will love this, people will relate to it, you'll help a lot of people. I was kind of like, oh, you sure? And I just, like, dipped my toe in, and the feedback I got from it, just from this weekend, the amount of people that have come up to me and told me, like, hey, that video you did, they're like, I was having a really hard time with drinking, and I was able to relate to it. I was like, oh man, okay, like,
dude,
there is some traction to this, you know.
A lot of people are stuck in that world. And to me, that's my greatest gift that I have to offer is my story. And if I don't share it, I'm cheating a lot of people out of what I got.
It's easy to forget that sometimes. You know, when you get caught up and there's a lot going on. You know, it's funny. My wife, you know, who understands, you know, what I've gone through, obviously, but when he was on the cover of that magazine, she was like, she knows Matt's the recovery guy, but, like, you know, we get caught up in the mundane day to day, and she was like, oh, that's really cool. That's like, you know, she was thinking, like, because you
recovery, are like physical recovery.
You are like training. The recovery guy, right? And I was like, no, that's like recovery, and that's probably one of the most read publications in the world because it's, you know, there's so many people out there that are struggling. The response to that, like, I mean, I read all the stuff he posts, and I always kind of, like, go through comments. I was, like, in tears on the couch reading that because it was, like, literally some guy, I think one of the first comments was like, yo, I went out last night and, you know, I just read this morning and I was like, fucking, I'm back, you know. And it was like, wow. And, you know, talk about, like,
that's huge.
He impacts people in so many ways because, you know, he inspires people, and he's always had a hard time wrapping himself around that. But talk about, like, hitting home immediately. You read that post and I was like, wow, because I know how hard it is to put yourself out. Like, I give him a ton of credit. Like, you know, he didn't have to do that. That just could create some stress in your life. Man, he helped. Like, just read that post when you get a chance. There was, like, what, 1,000 comments on that. 500 of them are people saying, you just helped me. You know? Yeah. It's crazy.
And that's like, when you sent me that thing, I mean, not to, like I was like I go through some gnarly struggles, like, because my brain is like broken, so I try to stay out of it. But it's like, you know, so I just try to not have conversations with it. But it's like, you know, I get like, it's so overwhelming having all these kids rely on me. And I know, if I start thinking, dude, if I fail all these kids, and you know, and you just start to get, you know, that little negative voice starts to get a little stage in your head, and it starts to go, and then I just start doubting myself, and and then Matt sends me that thing, and I'm just like, wow, man, I guess I am kind of doing some cool stuff, you know what I mean? I just forget how much cool stuff I'm doing, because that negative voice will just grasp my attention, and then I just like...
I'm sure a big part of it too is like it's growing organically, naturally, and so like you didn't see it from helping that first guy in rehab to now 200 kids on a daily basis. It just kind of incrementally got bigger. So it's not just like this big drastic change. It's just your day-to-day life. That's the norm. And so like just be able to step away and take a bird's eye look at what you're doing. Yeah, it's pretty hard to do.
It's hard.
But when you do it, it's pretty fucking wild.
It's pretty wild, and that's why I always say, dude, one person, you can make a massive difference. You can make, and it just starts by the next right thing.
Don't you feel like, I know all of us do who have gone through this, is do you feel like, and the message is strong, it's like, if I can do it, anybody can, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And it's just like getting people to take that step. It's really, you know, it's crazy. I know he feels like that. I feel like that. I know you do. We talk about it, right?
I mean, it's kind of funny because like I'll get comments all the time of like, or like when I meet someone and like they're like super excited and like it feels like they're putting me on a pedestal. I'm like, yo, calm down. Like, I'm just a normal fucking guy, just like you. Like,
crazy.
Like, have you ever had your heart broken? Me too. Like, you ever been fired from a job? Yeah, me too. Like, it just built incrementally. Just keep doing the next right thing, and it'll grow into something. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't so long ago I was a puddle, right? Like, truthfully.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and I'm excited for this year and what else is coming down.
Can't wait. You're going to be a part of West Coast Classic.
Yeah.
You know, a little plug for West Coast Classic, but mostly for your, you know, we're going to have the foundation as our philanthropic partner. We're psyched to support that this year and beyond. So we share Sarah. Sarah's, you know...
Yeah, Sarah is awesome.
Now working closely with the foundation, and she's also, you know, the head of our volunteers in California. So I'm psyched for that.
Yeah.
You know? So we'll do some cool stuff out there, get some kids going.
That's it. Yeah, it'll be fun to do that.
And then maybe you're going to take me skiing after, right?
Yeah, we're going to try pencil crayon that in.
You know what's funny is we were talking about this yesterday. He's like, do you want to go skiing after the West Coast class? Because we've talked a little bit about it. And I'm like, what am I committing to right now? I think I'm committing to, like, I've got a 50%
Dude, I know the
chance
trails up there.
Oh, sure.
Just follow the Hawaiian in the mountains where there's snow. I got this.
Somehow, I know I'm getting into
somebody's going to get hurt. Maybe get concussion.
So when is now you guys fundraise year round?
Yeah, we fundraise year round, and we've been trying to just, you know, it's just learning and growing. Like this foundation's growing big, and a lot of not financially, I mean, but it's growing big. Like this amount of kids that we're getting now, and it's like it's really getting a lot of public attention.
Oh, don't get us wrong, you need a lot of support.
Yeah, the support is like, for me, it's always, I got to raise money. I always got to raise money, and. For me, I have a hard time asking for money, because when I got sober, I'm like, dude, I'm never gonna borrow money from anybody again. And it's taken me a while to like get to the point where it's okay to ask.
Yeah.
Because
it's not for you.
Yeah, because it's not for me, but that's always been a struggle for me. But we're actually, you know, we need to raise money. That's at the end of the day, the foundation runs with money, and so we're. Yeah, just creating fundraising. We're just creating fundraising stuff all year round, and awareness. And for me, that's my biggest thing. Is like, if I don't reach this maximum amount of money, how are these kids? I'm gonna fund it myself. I'm gonna figure out a way to do it. You know, and I have. When I first started it, I was like, you know, because my life's dedicated to these kids, and it's so just raising the money is always.
So what's the next thing for you guys? Like, I know the trail run is September.
Yeah, September.
Yep. I'm sure you're already hacking down hacking down trail for that?
That's actually going to probably start in the next. We've been maintaining some stuff.
Yeah.
But then we got a whole nother area of land that we can use now, which is really special. So we got some good. And I did master the mud last year. I got the right mixture, so it's going to be very...
What is the date of the run?
September 19th.
Very cool. And where can people donate to Keala?
So you just go to the Keala Foundation. It's Keala, the foundation. Or you can go to CrossFit Poipu, CrossFit Keala, or any of the Ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run, and just go to the website. It'll take you right to... there's a little bar on it that says Give.
And we want people to sign up for the run and fundraise their run.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
which we'll do.
The fact that you're signing up for the run, showing up, amazing for the foundation. But I know, like, when I went, and I had the time of my life. It was an experience like you're not going to get that experience anywhere else in the world. It was crazy. Next time I do the run, I'm going to pack snacks. Because I did. I had Uncrustables. I know. Oh my god.
You know, we had like, I mean, one of the best parts about the run is we had 400 kids running last year.
Oh my god, that was the most humiliating.
Like, and in bare feet.
Like when you're running, and I know I started like 20 minutes before this, like 11-year-old, and I've like soccer cleats on, and this kid just like hauls ass by me up a hill. I'm like pulling on a rope, getting up to the top.
Bare feet.
He's bare feet, no rope, just going. And I was like, oh, all right, that's what you're dealing with. All right,
and those are the kids that
that was their second lap.
and the nice thing is you're there. Those are the kids you're supporting. I mean, you're just like, I mean, it's really. There's nothing like it because it's like you're just the environment. You just got to experience it. You got to come out and experience it because it's like. It's like there's a the thing in Hawaii they call it aloha. It's like pure aloha.
Yeah.
And that's like the feeling that you get. It's just like when you're like in a little village, a really the family style feeling of unity and community that's so raw that everybody thirsts for that. And when they come over and they feel that, and it's something that's what people search for. You know, that rawest form of love that's like this real. You know, and it's that's what we provide.
Yeah. You're doing it. You're inspiring the hell out of us to get involved in it. We're gonna be your biggest fundraiser this year.
Let's do it.
We're gonna put a team together. We're gonna raise more. So I want somebody else to try to beat us.
Talk to Greg. Hey, Greg. Just keep adding more than these guys. No.
We'll tell you how much after.
Yeah.
But seriously, we're gonna dig in hard with you guys.
That's cool.
It's changed. You know how I look at a lot of things. And,
it changes lives.
If I can get to help,
it's saving lives.
Yeah, really. So
and you look at these kids, man. It's just like all the cards are stacked against them, and they just, we're their family. Like I know kids that we have that have been sold for drugs. Their parents are their parents are basically in jail. They're living with their grandparents, and they come. Their meal for the day is with us, and we can't. They're like, oh, why don't you? We're gonna give them some meals to take home. No, they won't, because we weren't gonna cook it. We're just like, here, take it home with you, but they can't because their brothers will take their meals, or what I mean. So they have to eat there to be, and it's just all that stuff is this. I mean, there's a tragic thing that's happening over there. Hawaii is beautiful, but when you really come and hang out with me and you look under the rug,
when you step outside the resort walls,
it's another world. It's close to like a third world situation over there because there's so much money coming in. Just
pushing out all
the cost of living is so high that these local families have to work 3 jobs and their kids are just neglected. And then the guys that aren't working are the ones dealing drugs and that whole system, and they're the ones that are going to be,
Well, I know that you will die trying to change that on that island.
I'll do whatever it takes to do it.
And I think you're doing a great job already. We're seeing it. Even going back, for a second time, you can see the effect. So keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. We'll come over and support more. Let us know what we can do to help. And we love you, man.
There's a couple higher cliffs. There's actually one cliff that's a little higher.
I'm good.
Okay, I'm good too. After that one, I'm like, oh yeah.
I drive the boat.
Man.
I drive the boat.
Yeah, you drive. This one you walk to.
Oh no, that's okay.
No boat.
Oh, sorry. Well, I know. I watched some more people jump off the cliffs this year. Jessica Griffith bounced off the wall.
Oh, she almost died.
We're all set.
I was like, That would have been the end.
By the way, this is the cliff that you walked down to, and on your way down,
oh no, I saw.
There's a skeleton of a dog in there that didn't even make it to the water hole.
Solid.
I'm like, how'd the dog die? Oh, it slipped and broke its neck. Oh, sweet. I'm glad we're on this trek. But hey, thank you for being here. Honestly, it means the world to me.
Thanks for doing all this too, and bringing attention, and
same with
all
you.
Your guys' support.
I mean, we're gonna probably continue to catch up, but man, I'm grateful that you guys take time out of your busy schedules to come and hang out with me down here. And
Miami Matt,
try to keep me alive.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, thank you guys.
Love you guys, and
Ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run.
There you go. That's how I want to finish.
September 19th.
Put in your boats. We'll be there. All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks for being here.
Awesome.
It's a wrap.